Hey, everybody, welcome to the Supernatural Beer Bros podcast. I'm your host, Andy, and I'm joined today by my brother Ronnie up in Maine with the skeeters and the black flies.
Hello.
And Ben will most likely be joining us here in a few minutes or so. So, how's it going, Ronnie?
It is going.
It's going. Do you get any
Living
severe?
the dream.
Do you get any severe thunderstorms this evening?
Caught the edge of one. Got a little bit of hail. About 5 minutes of torrential rain, and that's about it.
Nice. All right. So today we are talking Antarctica and the conspiracies and mysteries surrounding it. I don't know.
Are there Sasquatches in Antarctica?
I don't know. Could be. Maybe. Maybe not.
He's the world champ of hide and seek. He might be.
What does that say? Believe in yourself, especially when others won't. When no one else will.
Especially when no one else will.
That was a Nike meme, right? I think originally.
I don't know. Probably.
It had something to do with the Kaepernick one or some shit.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
think it came out right around the same time, the Kaepernick commercial. Anyway. Believe in yourself, especially when no one else will. That's Chewbacca, Ronnie.
That damn Sasquatch.
Jesus. Let's see here.
That damn Sasquatch.
My God, Andy.
Yeah, so well, we already mentioned in a previous episode Operation High Jump. What was his name? Admiral Byrd, right? Went down there with his fleet and got his ass handed to him by a bunch of flying saucers.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yep. And there's a lot of talk. They went down. A lot of talk about secret Nazi bases that at the end of World War II they all ran there, try to get away.
And the giant hole at the South Pole that magically connects to the giant hole at the North Pole, and they both lead into the Hollow Earth.
Does it just go straight through? Like
supposedly,
just straight through hole through the core of the Earth from North to South Pole?
Yep.
I don't know about that.
No, that's the theory. I don't know either.
If that's true, then there's no core of the Earth because
it depends how big the hole is.
Hollowed out.
What's the radius of the core? Or the diameter?
I can't remember it. 2,000 miles, maybe. I don't remember.
Can't be that big. 2,000 miles?
Hold on, Andy. I'm looking.
Well, nobody's ever seen the Earth's core, so any measurement they'll be giving you is a fucking guesstimate.
Okay, yeah, I was a little over. 760 miles.
760 miles. Still pretty fucking big.
Yeah. A core of friggin' solid nickel.
So what you're telling me is I need 2 full tanks of gas to drive from one side of the core to the other.
You need 2 full tanks of gas to go 760 miles?
It depends how fast I'm driving. If I'm driving at highway speeds, I might be able to make it on a tank and a half.
True. Actually, I find with my truck that at, between 55 and 65, I get the best gas mileage. Once I go over like 70 miles an hour, my gas mileage suffers.
Well, most of the cars I've ever had, my best gas mileage has been around 70 miles an hour cruising speed.
Yeah, so like I run my truck, down the highway at 85 for 4 hours. And I can see my gas mileage, my estimated mileage till the tank's empty, just going down, down, down.
Well, I mean, I got way oversized tires on my truck, so I figured that, when my speedometer says 60, I'm actually doing at least 70. So
Probably.
so for the like if I get up to that speed and I'm just cruising, I bet I'm getting way better gas mileage.
What kind of tires you got on it? All terrains or?
Yeah, all terrains. Good
That's what I
years.
got on mine. I got Falcon tires.
I had on my other Ranger, the yellow one I had Toyos on them. On that one, they were bigger than
I,
the ones I have now.
my Falcons were good. My little V6 friggin' Dodge Ram will crawl through friggin' crawl through a foot deep of friggin' mud and soup through, out on a solar field from one end to the other. I never even got close to getting stuck. The only time I got close to getting stuck was when I forgot to take the traction control and stability control off. Because if you don't take that off, the traction control and stability control is actually a hindrance.
Weren't you out at a job with a bunch of other people and in a parking lot and it started snowing and everybody was stuck in their parking spots and you had to pull them all out?
Yeah, that was El Bean. I was one of the only people that was able to get out. Everyone else was driving cars and they were buried. I had to pull everyone out. I was there like an extra hour pulling people out.
Well, I remember the old Ram I used to have, the 4x4 with the 360 cubic inch engine.
Yeah.
That thing was a fucking monster off road and in the mud and snow and everything. Uh, I ran that thing through 2 feet of snow up in the mountains, trail riding, and literally pushing snow in front of the truck. It was so high, like it was probably deeper than 2 feet, but yeah, nothing even came close to getting that truck stuck. The only time I ever got that truck stuck was when I was trying to pull my friend's Blazer out of a snowdrift, and I ended up digging myself into the snowdrift while I was trying to pull him out.
Yeah.
So
I bet I could run my truck through 2 feet of snow, but I definitely have to have some weight in the back of it. The way I got it right now, I don't think it would go. But
dude, I had the back of that truck filled with sandbags, dude. And I drove up a friggin' slope like this and didn't even slow it down. Just straight up.
yeah,
That truck was a beast. I missed that truck. I wish I never sold it. Anyways, we've gotten yeah. Where's my soundbite here?
The sea is foamy. You have wandered way off course.
Yeah,
yeah.
so let's oops. Oh, there's my Tiananmen Square picture from the last podcast. All right, so where are we going to start with here? I think we'll do that one after. 7 Antarctica conspiracy theories plus the truth behind them. I'm not interested in the truth. I just want the conspiracy theories.
Yeah, then we can joke about that. Hashtag do your own research.
All right, so this clearly is the flat Earth design, with Antarctica being an ice wall around the perimeter with the firmament dome up here.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're just a giant frisbee flying through space.
Yeah, basically. all the other planets that we can observe though are conveniently round, but we're flat.
And this picture here is what they claim to be an ancient pyramid in Antarctica, which it does resemble a pyramid given these lines here, these ridges,
Right.
and it's got a square base. So it does kind of look like a pyramid, but with the shadows and the lighting, you don't really know what you're looking at here. I mean, could be a pyramid, but who knows?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that, if Antarctica had some, buried civilizations on there because, apparently, crustal displacement is a real thing and that whole place could have been flash frozen
Yeah, but
eons
here's the
ago.
thing though, too. If this is a pyramid, this pyramid dates back to Pangea.
Not necessarily. I
Because
can't remember
that
how
was
long ago.
well, that was the last time Antarctica was fucking up in the fucking zone of the planet that was warm.
No, it ain't that
Correct?
long ago. It's not that long ago because there's ancient maps and we've talked about them on a previous episode that depict Antarctica with no ice on it. And the last time Antarctica had no ice on it was, I think, either sometime during or before the last ice age, but it's not like Pangea, like dinosaur times. It's much more recent than that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think the continents move that fast. I mean, they'll move that distance over tens of millions or hundreds of millions of years, but not over a few tens of thousands of years.
It's not necessarily true, Andy.
Well, I mean, the rate at which they're moving now is like the rate at which your fingernails grow. It's fucking ridiculous.
There's theories out there about crustal displacement where different plates don't shift and collide together, but the whole crust moves.
Look, if an entire continental fucking plate shifted by, a few hundred miles rapidly, the wave would circle the planet and wipe out every living thing. Everything.
Andy,
We wouldn't be here.
I'm not talking about one continental plate moving. I'm talking about all the plates moving in the same direction at the same
Even
time.
better. You're talking about a wave that's miles high. It would circle the planet and it would destroy all life. All land life.
That's not true. Yes, it would be a huge catastrophe because of the massive change in climate, because nothing would change except the geolocation of the landmass on the globe.
But if the geolocation of the landmass on the globe moves rapidly, that geolandmass is going to displace water. Water displacement means waves.
Well, not necessarily true, because if the Pacific plate and the Atlantic plate and all the other plates that hold the oceans moved in the same direction at the same time, not necessarily.
Ben, when an aircraft carrier moves through the water, does it make waves?
Andy, nothing is moving through the water. Nothing changes location in relation to the other. Everything moves at once. That's crustal displacement. It all moves at once.
All right, hold on a minute. You need to look at this. It's kind of like fitting a puzzle together.
You're not talking about a continent moving through an ocean at 100 miles an hour. That's not what I'm talking about, Andy.
Ronny, the entire fucking world fits together like a puzzle, dude. Look at
even if the whole land mass,
you can see right here. You can see where South America used to be joined with Africa right here.
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying.
These shit drifted away from each other on this side.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, they sure did. I'm not talking about that.
All of this doesn't move together.
That's plate tectonics. I'm talking about crustal displacement.
All right, so what's the difference with crustal displacement then?
Where there's something happens that causes the entire Earth's crust, everything, not just one tectonic plate, all of it to shift.
But
So
even
you
if
don't
they all
have a
shifted,
continent, huh?
I mean, even if they all shifted together simultaneously, wouldn't that still displace the water?
Well, I mean, bare minimum,
No,
it would
because
create a massive worldwide earthquake that makes a tsunami that's huge.
you may have huge earthquakes or whatever, but I'm saying that nothing would really change other than that continent's geolocation on the globe. Because
Okay,
you don't have a continent bulldozing through the ocean. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm
But the
talking about oceans move right along with it.
Well, the earthquakes could cause massive tsunamis, though.
Well, I wish I had a cup. Okay, if I took a cup of water and I did this with it, which is what you're describing, the fucking water is gonna go, and it's gonna come out of the cup.
I'm thinking of far subsurface. So you take that same cup. The water in the cup is the molten mantle of the earth. And then take the cup and just spin the cup. Spin it hard. Like, say you spin it fast, the cup spins, the actual solid cup spins over the fluid underneath. That's crustal displacement.
Sounds like the Earth's rotation to me.
No, I'm talking about the solid layer on the outside going over the molten layer on the inside and going at a different rate than the molten layer on the inside.
Yeah, but that water sits on top of the solid
Uh,
layer over the
all
molten.
right, all right. I'm done trying to explain
I'm
it to
just
you.
saying, if the solid layer,
I mean, the water's going to have to move. The water's not just going
the
to be
water's
staying
going to
still.
move.
I'm not saying that the water didn't.
I know. I'm just that force. I would have to think there'd be some pretty dramatic, water action with that sort of force, though. You know what I mean?
Well, there's been some talk about the crustal displacement being why you find so many animals like mammoths and shit flash frozen.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't dispute that.
Well,
So what I'm saying is you had such a rapid climate change in an area that animals flash froze with food still in their mouths.
well, that's not according to the movie The Day After Tomorrow. It was a massive superstorm that froze the fucking mammoth.
As long as we're clear on the fact that The Day After Tomorrow was pure fiction and for entertainment. But
Yeah, but it had Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
Yeah.
Ooh, Jake Gyllenhaal.
And the girl from Shameless.
Was that her?
Yeah, that was her. The girl, his love interest. That's the hottie from Shameless. Yeah. Well, I mean, because remember, I mean, there was Day After Tomorrow. Then 2012 came out. About 5 years later, in 2009, discussing the Mayan long count. That I think everybody remembers. December 21st, 2012. It was being discussed everywhere.
Yeah, just remember the quote from that movie for real life. When the government tells you not to panic, that's when you run.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, that's still my damn favorite disaster movie too.
Yeah.
I'm just my argument was because that picture he's got up now of the pyramid on Antarctica, or what's supposedly a pyramid. I was saying that it's entirely possible that there were civilizations on Antarctica at a time when Antarctica was in a more temperate zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I know you mentioned the movie 2012, and I know for a fact that Ronnie got great pleasure from watching that movie.
Sure
by watching California sink into the ocean.
Kind of like
to the bottom with the rest of the turds.
Kind of like that grandma from Mars Attacks. It's like they blew up Congress.
She's got her friggin' headphones on and they're lining up that big cannon with the back of her head. Like,
hey Ben, remember this?
The international friend of the donut.
Oh man. All right, so Ben, you see this? This is supposedly a pyramid on Antarctica.
Okay.
You see it has a relatively square base, and it's got four ridges going down. But, it's up for interpretation, I guess.
Certainly is. I mean,
so Antarctica is a mysterious continent at the southern tip of the Earth. Due to its isolation and extreme environment, it's the continent we know the least about. Whilst we're discovering more Antarctic facts every year, you won't be surprised to hear that it's also the source of many conspiracy theories, as we'll share today. Number 1, Hitler had a base in Antarctica. It might seem odd to say that this was one of the more realistic conspiracy stories about Antarctica, but it even took the work of 2 distinguished scientists to debunk this myth in the scientific journal. Yeah. Okay, it wasn't debunked. It's a known fact.
Yeah,
the Nazis had a base in Antarctica.
I say, if you believe that Antarctica's always been where it is and it's always been frozen, then explain why maps exist, ancient maps like the Piri Reis map, which was made, I think, in the 1400s or maybe 1500s. I can't remember, but it's pretty much been proven that that map was actually a copy of a much older and more ancient map that depict the coastline of Antarctica as it exists underneath the ice with no ice on it.
Yep.
Now we had no knowledge of what the coastline of Antarctica looked like without ice on it until the invention of ground penetrating radar and like satellite ground penetrating radar and stuff like that.
Are you talking the maps that were out there like during the time of like Plato or something, right?
No, the
Or-
Piri Reis map is a Middle Ages map, but it was a copy of a much older map. It may be from the Greek Plato's time. Who knows? But it's a copy, at least in part, of a much older map.
Yeah. Maybe one they stole out of the library at Alexandria.
Very possible.
You know what? That's got to be a future episode. The Library of Alexandria.
The destruction of that library is probably one of the most tragic events in human history.
Yeah, but a lot of people say that that library wasn't destroyed until most of the important shit was taken out.
Oh yeah, of course.
And a lot of people say
believe-
that a lot of that material is underneath the Vatican.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably where
the
the
Vatican
Kama
seems to
Sutra
be
came from.
the Vatican seems to be at the heart of most of these thoughts.
Well, I mean,
God,
if there's a lot of ancient knowledge that, you know, is out there, the Vatican's got their greasy paws all over it.
Oh, the Vatican's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
God, I hate them.
at least
Well, I mean,
the
I could
current pope and
I could see the Romans ransacking the Library of Alexandria, taking all the valuable knowledge, because the Vatican is simply situated on what's called Vatican Hill. It was one of the seven hills of ancient Rome, and so why wouldn't, and structures have existed there for millennia, so why wouldn't that be one of the locations of secret knowledge?
well, yeah, I
Documents.
mean, the Vatican that we know is built on top of ancient ruins. So
I'm gonna laugh my ass off someday if Antarctica and the ice melts and somebody finds like a Carthaginian coin laying on the ground in an area that used to be under like 2 miles of ice.
yeah, but it's like a lot of ancient cities, like Jerusalem or some of those others. They're all built on top of ruins that were built on top of ruins, and like
Yeah.
it's like literally piles of civilizations underneath cities.
Yeah, and even in areas like the old city where it's supposed to be, like all original, and this is the old city, and that's built on top of ruins and previous people. So, I mean, who knows how far back these places go?
I think even London is built on top of ruins.
Yeah, because London's been a city for millennia. I mean, under the Romans, under the pre-Celtic tribes, but the Romans are what made it London. So
Yeah, the Romans initially founded it as Londinium.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think that the Romans built on top of ruins at that time. If there's any ruins under London, they're Roman ruins, I believe.
Yeah.
yeah, because you had Boadicea, the Celtic chief woman, who ransacked London, killing like 20,000 Romans and their collaborators, and then they rebuilt. So yeah,
it's like that meme that's been going around. I think Ronnie shared it earlier today, where it shows an old Roman, like a cobblestone street, and it's like Rome built this 4,000 years ago, although it wasn't 4,000 because Rome didn't exist 4,000 years ago. But the meme says Rome built this 4,000 years ago, and then it shows a picture of one of our streets full of potholes, and it's like my city paved this 2 weeks ago, and it doesn't. Look at it now.
I mean, the Roman roads didn't have, you know, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of tires and, you know, massive pressure exerted on it every second of every day. So
They do now, though.
if, well, yeah, they do now, but are like people driving on those ancient cobblestone roads.
I think some of them, but
I figured some of them must be like, well, I don't know how it works, but
Well, I'm
it's a
sure
good point.
I'm sure they had wagon trains and shit. And I mean,
Well, yeah, it's just not, you know, 100,000 of them crossing it like every hour.
well, I
Right.
mean, regardless, stone construction is far superior in longevity to our current construction techniques. I mean, you look
No,
at the
our
pyramids,
current
look at the what was that, the ball bag temple that we talked about.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, those are stone structures, and they've been up for millennia. So, yeah.
I know we're going way off topic with the Romans and all that shit, but I just want to go into something like Roman
Follow me. You have wandered way off course.
Roman concrete, right? I don't know if you guys have ever heard anything about this, but Roman concrete is in a lot of far superior to even our modern day concrete. I mean, as far as its strength, its durability, how long I mean, we don't know how to make the concrete they made.
Well, there's the ancient weapon called Greek fire, and modern scientists can't figure out how they did it.
I say it had to be petroleum based because it floats on water and it stays burning.
Yeah, but nothing puts it out. Nothing. In the legends, anyway.
Yeah, once it's exposed to air, it's burning. It may have been a phosphorus based deal.
Yeah, but how did they create or extract the phosphorus and keep it from igniting before they were ready to ignite it?
I don't know, but you can't put phosphorus out once it's going.
I know. But I'm saying these are ancient Greeks. They didn't have, I mean, modern science, they didn't have that knowledge of chemistry. So,
Hell, even
Unless
back to
they
the ancient
did.
Greeks. What?
Unless they did.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
there's that argument.
You can go back to the ancient Greeks to find the first mention of the idea that, you know, everything and everybody, everything on the planet, everything in the universe is made up of atoms.
Yeah.
The Greeks made that up. Now, it was just a theory back then. They had no proof or any way to look at it, but I mean, they came up with the idea.
Yeah. So let's get back on track here. All right. So Nazis in Antarctica. So there was, in fact, a German expedition to Antarctica between 1938 and 39, just before the start of the Second World War. The exhibition was on a ship called Schwabenland. However, this ship was not to establish a military base there, but to try and secure future whaling activity. All right. Plenty of whaling in the Northern Hemisphere. Why do you need to go all the way from Germany to Antarctica for whaling?
I mean, that just sounds like it was a convenient, you know, excuse cover for the expedition.
At the time, the German whaling industry was booming and supplied oil, lubricants, and food, as well as essential ingredients for bomb making. Conspiracy theorists have long referred to a quote from Admiral Donitz,
Yeah.
where he mentions an invulnerable fortress, a paradise-like oasis in the middle of eternal ice.
So the Nazis invented the what, Fortress of Solitude or whatever.
No, the Fortress of Solitude was a giant crystal fortress.
Well, it sounds like they invented the idea for it, because wasn't that like in Antarctica or some shit?
Yeah, but what they describe here is an invulnerable fortress, a paradise-like oasis. So that means like, like almost like a jungle or trees and
Oh, that's true.
liquid
Oasis.
water, like warm, not the Fortress of Solitude.
That's true. That's a connotation. You're right.
And sitting in the middle of eternal ice. So it must be somewhere where it's ice as far as you can see. And then all of a sudden, there's this oasis with massive orgies going on and amazing stuff right in the middle of it. Sounds nice.
All right, so the cherry on the cake for those that believe this theory was when the U.S. sent a large fleet to Antarctica between 46 and 47, and when 3 nuclear bombs were set off later in 58. But now that many documents have been declassified, we know that these were training exercises. No, they weren't. You don't send an entire armed fleet, fucking live ammo and everything down there, and then lose all your aircraft and half your ships in a training exercise.
And then drop 3 nukes on Antarctica a few years later.
We did an episode on Operation High Jump. If you didn't listen to it, you should go back and find it. Did we do a whole episode? Or was that in the
I believe we did.
Or was that in the what episode was that when we talked about high jump?
The episode where you were gay.
It's been a minute.
No, it was I can't remember. I think it was one of the first I don't know, 4 or 5 episodes. It was probably like one of the alien episodes. Maybe the secret space program episode, I'm not sure, but yeah, it was one of the previous episodes though. I don't think we did a specific episode on high jump though.
It might have been somewhere in the area of the secret space program one, because I remember we were talking about the Nazi bell and all that shit
Mm-hmm.
in connection to that.
Yeah. All right, number 2.
Yeah, and by the way, just because they just declassify a document doesn't make it true. So
Yeah.
Yeah, just because they said it was a training exercise doesn't mean that it was, even if it was a classified document.
Yep. Number 2, there are UFOs in Antarctica. Well, they're everywhere else on the planet. Why wouldn't they be in Antarctica? So it seems that on an almost weekly basis, there are some alien-looking objects appearing on Google Maps, including in Antarctica. These photos and videos are often accompanied by compelling stories which make it easy to believe. There are 2 notable sightings which went viral. The first was a video from the popular channel Secure Team 10. Popular channel on where? YouTube? Doesn't say. So, which claimed to show an alien ship crash landing as spotted on Google Earth. However, the video was later disproven by a physical geography lecturer from Kiel University, who explained that it was simply a block of ice from an avalanche that had skidded further across the ice than the rest of the debris.
it was light that refracted off of a hot air balloon.
Yeah, and and swamp gas all around.
Yeah. It made the planet Venus seem to, look like it was right behind you and following you.
Well, click the link, Andy. Let's see if we can see the video.
Oh yeah, I could do that, couldn't I? Yeah, it is a YouTube channel, I guess.
I discovered the 8 immortal kings of Samaria lived a total of 241,000.
Massive, elongated, or
13
cigar-shaped object that at some point, and we don't know when, came to a screeching halt in the snow, leaving behind it almost 1,000-meter long trail. And what's even more interesting, and we'll get to this object in a minute, is what the trail leads to. So here we are on Google Earth, and it looks as if this imagery was taken back in 2011. So we can see this massive object is directly next to this huge...
All right, yeah, so it is a big fucking thing. Looks like a sheer face of ice here. It looks like it might have broken off. There was obviously some type of an avalanche here because you can see it came down. Now, but you can see the trail of the object. It goes on top of this pack of whatever that is that slid down. Ice, I guess. But it keeps going.
So
It doesn't look like a crash landing though.
No,
Not to me.
it looks very odd that, a chunk that fell off the mountain would skid that far through snow and shit across flat land.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like a crash landing to me either. There's no
Right.
mark here for the initial impact point.
Nope.
All I
I
see
just
is
think
that-
there's more to it, is all I'm saying.
unless it caused that avalanche in the first place, and then
Yeah, but then how do you explain the track starting up here on top of the avalanche? Like all of this right here should look like this.
yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Unless it
This
emerged.
looks like it was made after the slide.
Okay, Dr. Andy.
I'm just saying, logically, in my own mind, I'm looking at this and I think that this looks like it was made after this slide.
No, I mean, unless it was briefly buried in the avalanche and then it emerged from the I don't know.
It didn't crash down. It crashed out of the mountain.
What?
It came out of the mountain. It didn't come down. It came up. Out.
That's what she said.
My brain is hurting.
I can't tell if that's just a shadow at the beginning of the tracks or actually a hole
Don't
in
think.
the side of the mountain.
Don't think, Ben. Ask Ronnie here. Thinking hurts.
Oh, just ask me. I know everything. Just ask me. I'll tell you.
Huge mountain peak here. And you'll
Yeah, like you can
Hold on.
look. Here's the
Wait.
track, and the track comes up all the way to like right here, right?
You're
Okay.
saying it
Goes this
burst out
way.
from under the pile.
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the beginning. Like otherwise,
I know
would
what
be-
this is. This is a snowmobile.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
That's a big snowmobile, Andy.
pretty big. See, it got buried in the snow and the avalanche, and the guy riding it dug it out and fucking rode it down.
Who's riding it? The Giant of Kandahar? It's a big fucking snowmobile, Andy.
Hey, you never know. But you can see like back here, you can see like, wow, what the fuck? All right. You can see the
Stuck
two
there.
tracks. Well, that's where the giant was dragging his feet on either side.
Or maybe that's the drag marks from his massive schlong.
Well,
Dragging his head.
it'd only be one though. There's two. There's one on each side. It must be from his feet.
They might be his ball drags. He's dragging his ass across the frozen plain like a dog across the carpet.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Hold on. Ronnie, what is that? What does that look like to you? And then like it's coming out and kind of running down.
Well, it looks like someone had an accident.
What does that look like to you, Ben?
Well, if it
Actually,
looks,
funny. Hey, look at the shadow. Do you see where it actually kind of looks like? I see the outline of an alien skull. Honestly,
or a dragon. Come to think of it,
I see a cold, hard twat.
a big gaping wide twat.
Yeah, it's
One that's been reamed out proper.
It's seen heavy use, and it's even got the little button up here.
Hey,
That's
she looks like she's ready to settle down finally.
That's not even a hot dog in a hallway. That's more like a pencil in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
Arby's, we have the meats.
the meat curtains.
Yeah, when she's finally ready to settle down, that's what she looks like.
So after he got done delivering his icy cream pie, he rode his snowmobile away. his,
Gross.
his bukkake tears.
And shooting ropes everywhere.
All right.
That's the term we've been missing.
Whilst there might not be alien life in Antarctica, this doesn't mean there aren't any alien objects, according to European Space Agency. At least 50,000 rocks from other planets have been found by teams in Antarctica that have fallen as meteorites. Not quite as exciting as alien life forms, though.
Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like,
Come on.
hey,
NASA warns alien life may not be fuckable.
did you find Did you find any aliens down there in Antarctica? No, sir, we did not.
You're fired.
Number 3, Antarctica's lost civilization. Oh, that's interesting. There are claims that Antarctica was once home to a pre-modern civilization that could be the mythical city of Atlantis. Yeah, I don't think so. Not Atlantis, but another one. The basis for this claim is the ancient Piri Reis map created in 1513, which appears to show the Antarctic continent before it froze over. The theory even made national news. Conspiracy theorists back up the claim with many Google Earth satellite images, such as this one, which people are describing as a Mott and Bailey castle. It does indeed look like a Mott and Bailey castle.
Very interesting.
Whatever that is.
What do you think of that, Ben?
Ben has vanished.
What kind of castle did they do?
Come again.
What kind of castle did they say it might look like?
A Mott and Bailey castle.
I'm not really familiar with that terminology. Maybe we can look that up briefly. Modest.
I'll look it up.
I'm not.
Yeah, looks like the
modest,
Millennium.
Familiar with that.
Looks like the friggin' Millennium Falcon under the ice.
Yeah.
We finally found Han Solo and Chewbacca.
That's the original Hoth.
Yeah, right? Yeah. You have failed me for the last time, Admiral.
Eh? Like that?
Your lack of faith disturbing. Okay, kind of like that one with the green. Okay,
Lord
so
Vader.
it's like a castle that. Okay.
This one's got a moat.
So it's basically a round walled secured area with inner
With a moat.
dwellings surrounded by the
But actually,
surrounded by the walls.
this here, I believe, is artwork from a video game that I think I've played.
Lord Vader, we've exited hyperspace and entered the planetary system of.
The cat of
All right. So
okay, so that was allegedly saying that was talking about the map that you were speaking about, like
well, this
20 minutes ago.
is obviously not a natural formation here. I mean, regardless of what it actually was, I mean, this is not a natural formation.
It's definitely partitioned off. You can see it. There's several sections, segments. Yeah, it doesn't look natural. That's definitely man-made.
Yeah.
But what's it doing in Antarctica? Supposedly, we've never lived there.
But then again, there's nothing in this particular picture that shows me that this is indeed Antarctica.
True.
I don't really know.
That's a good point.
All I see is ice, snow, and maybe some rock here. But
It could be Arizona.
no, it could be Canada. Could be somewhere in northern Europe. Maybe in the old
The Baltics.
Norwegian or something.
Is that where ancient people went to clap cheeks?
Yep.
Probably.
Where they gave their offering of seed to Odin. So
What the fuck?
as for the hard evidence behind this, we do know that Antarctica was formed when the supercontinent Gondwana broke up.
I don't remember Odin ever wanting offerings of jizz.
Just shooting ropes onto Mount Olympus. Or not Olympus, that was the fucking Greeks.
Asgard.
Yeah. All over
Yeah.
Asgard. Just
I could see all these warriors getting to Valhalla and just furiously masturbating everywhere.
hey, if you watch that show Grunt Life on Vet TV, that's pretty much it. just fucking guys masturbating all over the place.
You serious, dude? My first combat jack.
Dude, the opening scene in the very first episode is a dude jerking off in the fucking shitter.
Yep.
And then a bullet comes through the fucking wall of the shitter and he fucking looks through it with his eye. And he's like, shit.
God.
So, however, Antarctica has diverged from Gondwana, moved to its southern position and froze over long before humans, and had even evolved in Africa around 2 to 6 million years ago.
It's not his fault he can't read.
So the chances of another intelligent life form similar to humans existing prior to this are near impossible. As for the Motte and Bailey Castle, this is just a frozen lake. Oh, okay. Up yours. That is not a frozen lake.
Like
Yeah.
it looks raised.
It is raised.
Yeah, and with all the dividing walls, dividing it into sections. Yeah, that's a lake, all right.
Yeah.
Like
Fucking
I wonder if
liars.
they like it. Even if it was a more modern creation, like maybe a Nazi base, for example, like it didn't even have to be ancient. Like, how are you just gonna go and lie like that? Fucking
Because
A.
people are stupid enough to believe it.
Like, I wonder if people really feel good about themselves, just like blatantly lying like this. Oh man.
It's arrogance. They think they know everything. So when something comes up that calls into question their life's work, of course they're going to try to cover it up because they're arrogant.
Right. Good point. Yeah.
Well, a lot of these guys don't want to be wrong.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, why not be the first person to confirm something wonderful instead of just carrying a party line? Like, hey, you'll be the next top dog if you prove something you've been believed for years. Like, be the pioneer,
Yeah, but maybe they keep it secret for the same reason that they keep aliens secret. Because it would call into question pretty much our entire societal beliefs and our culture.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, just like this fucking asshole that wrote this said, 2 to 6 million years ago. And we've talked about, like in our Giants episode and a couple other episodes, that, I think the human race is a lot older than we think it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
exactly.
It just keeps timing out and getting reset and forgetting its past.
Well, it could be. To me, that that doesn't disprove the existence of a God. It just
No, I agree.
means
It doesn't.
all it means is that we were created a lot earlier than we thought.
Yeah. No, that doesn't change anything for me. So
The last thing that the government wants is for aliens to come down to Earth and tell the people the truth of their origins, everything.
kind of like what was that Alien movie? Kind of a prequel to Aliens that came out 10 years ago. Prometheus, yeah.
Yeah,
Except the
actually that
dude tried to actually kill them all.
that's what the Scientologists believe. Prometheus theory.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Was that a Scientologist movie?
It probably was, because that's
Oh.
literally what they believe. They believe an ancient race of giant aliens came and created humanity, created humans.
Okay, they're just stealing that idea from the Nephilim, though. That's all they're doing.
Well, that was the Sumerians' creation story. The Anunnaki came down to Earth and genetically altered primitive beings that were here and created humans.
Yep.
Ta-da.
But then again, what was it? The Gobekli Tepe predates the Sumerians by like 3,000 years. So
Wild.
Right.
it's like 3 or 4,000 years. The Gobekli Tepe. Yeah. So, anyways, number 4, Antarctica has a secret passage to the hollow Earth. According to this next conspiracy theory, the entire Earth is hollow, and the only way to get inside is via a 2,253 kilometer, 1,400 mile wide hole in Antarctica and the Arctic. The theory suggests that you could walk over the edge of the hole without even realizing it, just like an ant walking over the lip of a glass. The idea of a hollow Earth was first mentioned in 1818 by John Semmes, an American naval officer. However, it gained traction when apparently a lost diary of Admiral Richard E. Byrd was found that details his encounter with the underground race whilst trying to build a U.S. research base at the South Pole. According to this lost diary, he visited the Pentagon to share news of this new race he had met, but was ordered to keep quiet. Yeah. So, number 5, there are secret pyramids in Antarctica, which goes back to that first picture we saw up there at the top. Another theory floating around the internet is that Antarctica is home to secret pyramids. This story is sometimes linked to the lost civilization theory or UFO theory. The basis for this claim is this structure found on Google Earth, which appears to show a pyramid sticking out of the ice. The pyramid is located in the southern part of the Ellsworth Mountains, which is an area known for its fossils.
Looks like a giant's butt plug to me.
Hey, I don't know if you've heard, but apparently the alien probes that they shove up your ass are shaped like that at the tip.
Yeah.
Apparently, supposedly.
Do they have little furries on the end, like a tail? So like
Jesus, Ronny. So you just leave it in there and it looks like you have a tail?
Or maybe they have some nice shiny rhinestones on the end of it, so you have like you're jeweled up and rocking that ice when you got something shoved up your ass.
I hope they at least have a little vibrator motor in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh my fucking God.
The sea is foamy. You have wandered way off course.
So, however, this theory was disregarded by Professor Eric Rignot, of course, as a professor, who specialized in Earth system science at the University of California. Of course. He told Live Science that it is just a mountain that has experienced many years of erosion, which has caused the steep sides that resemble a pyramid. Well,
Erosion would usually make sides less steep as the steep sides collapse, I would think.
well, you don't really get a lot of liquid precipitation there, and there's no liquid water on the surface.
No, I'm sure it's mostly wind shear.
So yeah, it would be wind erosion, and I don't know. I guess it could cause that, and you can tell by the snow here the direction of the wind. So it's blowing this way.
Yes, sir.
And or this way, the other way. One
Yeah.
of the two. So it does look to me like the snow is deeper on this side, so the wind's probably blowing from top to bottom here at a slightly left angle. But
Right next to it, the thing out, just to the left of down and to the left, looks like a flying saucer buried in the snow right next to it.
yeah, could be. It'd be a big ass saucer though.
I'm not saying it's the aliens, but it was the aliens.
But this does look like it could be a pyramid that is heavily fucking eroded. I mean, because you could tell the angles and the sides are not uniform anymore, but it looks like it could have been at one time. I mean, maybe.
Tell them, man, bring your thesis paper to the nearest university.
Yeah, I'll bring my penis paper.
Shoot ropes all over it and give it to them.
Hey, here's what I think about your fucking disapproval of my theory. Number 6, Antarctica is guarded by the military. One myth, and this is from the flat earth myth as well. They say, oh, you can't go to Antarctica, the military will arrest you. One myth that has come to light in recent years is that Antarctica is guarded by the military. This theory has been supported by photos of military personnel from various countries operating in Antarctica. Whilst the photos are likely genuine, Antarctica is not guarded. It would be illegal for military activity to take place in the region due to the Antarctic Treaty. This is the agreement between countries that operate in Antarctica that sets the ground rules for the continent.
Yeah, since when does anyone listen to those treaties?
Yeah, that's true. We got a lot of treaties that we don't follow.
Well, being most of them.
So it promotes peace and specifically prohibits any military activity in the region. However, it does allow countries to use military personnel and equipment in the region as long as it's for scientific purposes. For example, the United States uses its Air Force to supply its research bases in Antarctica from a supply base in New Zealand. This is why you will sometimes see photos of military personnel or equipment in Antarctica, not because it's guarded. Okay, so number 7, Antarctica doesn't exist. It's just an ice wall. Another flat Earth theory. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. So, even with stories of aliens, secret civilizations, Nazi bases, this one is still the most amusing and comes courtesy of the flat earthers.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. Fuck it.
I think that's what they were saying when they were trying to come up with this theory.
Yeah, right.
Oh, fuck it, we'll wing it. So
my God, we went from the Earth was flat to 500 years ago, proving it was round, and now here we go. The Earth is now flat again. We've digressed. We have idiocracy in full swing.
Yep. It's all that weed, man, and other shit.
Yeah. It's
I'll
all
tell you
that
what.
fucking
50 years of unadulterated street drugs will get you a fucking firmament, my friends.
yeah. A firmament filled with shadow people chasing you.
And little pinholes that show to the celestial light, which we call stars. So, oh yeah, and the moon is a projection from the surface, like a big projector that your teacher used to use to project something onto the wall.
Yeah, the moon doesn't exist. It ain't real.
Yeah. And the sun is artificial, and it was placed there, and it circles around the earth like this.
Yeah. Placed there by who?
Yeah. Whatever. So, instead of being the large continent that we all know, this conspiracy theory suggests that Antarctica is a large ice wall that goes around the flat earth, preventing anything from falling off.
Hey, with the flat Earth, that picture of the flat Earth right there, the Earth looks like a snow globe, don't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's some giant alien's child's snow globe,
I got it at the Galactic gift shop.
right? What a bunch of loons.
Look, like anybody that tries to explain to me, or when I listen to people trying to explain the validity of flat earth, they have valid arguments on physics. Only problem is they're only taking into account half of the physics at play. Like when they're sitting there saying, oh, well, gravity pulls you down. So if you walk to the South Pole, you would just fall off because gravity would pull you down away from the earth.
Right.
They're thinking in 2 dimensions.
Yeah, and we know the Earth is spinning, rotating. So if it was spinning like a plate and you weren't standing in the exact center at all times, then inertia would be pulling you to the outside of the plate and eventually flinging you off. It's you can't. This is impossible.
Yeah, but they don't take into account the fact that the inertia has to overpower the force of gravity, and in this case, the inertia is not quite that strong. So here we are, stuck to the planet, being pulled towards the center, not down.
Yeah, these people are retarded. For sure.
Yeah, but you know what? If they were listening to me right now, they'd be saying, "Oh, you only know that because that's what your teachers told you. You need to forget what your teachers told you and listen to me because only I know half the science, and only I know."
and you only know what you know because you smoke too much of the devil's lettuce. So
they're like, how are we rooted to the planet when the planet's traveling through the fucking traveling through space at whatever fucking hundreds of thousands of miles an hour or whatever the fuck it is? We should be blown right off of the surface. We shouldn't be able to stand here when we're moving that fast. And
I'm
like,
laugh and say magic.
I'm like, yeah, they're like, yeah, if you jumped up in the air right now, you should just fly right off into space. And I'm like, look, if you're standing on a fucking school bus, you're standing in the center aisle, and the school bus is moving, and you jump up, you're gonna land on the exact spot where you jumped up from. Why? Because not only are you moving, or not only is the bus moving, you're moving with the bus, and so is all of the air inside. So when you jump up, you're moving with the air. And you're also moving forward at the same speed of the bus, so there's no friction to slow you down, so you land exactly where you fucking jumped from.
Yeah, the only way that doesn't work is if you're on a bus and you jump in the air, and at that exact same instant, the bus either abruptly stops or speeds up.
Yep.
You're going to land in the same spot.
Yep. See, they ignore acceleration. They just say, oh, because you're moving this fast right now at a constant speed, you should be fucking flung backwards or forward. But you're not accelerating or decelerating. You're moving at the same speed the bus is. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like they ignore, like they grab the bits of science that fit their theory, and they ignore the rest of it.
Well, these are people that can't grasp fourth grade science, so it's difficult to teach something like that to people that can't even grasp the basics.
Yeah, so that's it for this one. We went on this one. See which one's when civilization built pyramids. Yep. We went over that. Nazis had a secret base. We went over that one. The Lost City of Atlantis. We went over that one. Rectangular icebergs in Antarctica were built by aliens.
Because of course it was the aliens.
That could have been anything.
Goddamn aliens.
I'm not saying it was the aliens.
Sasquatch.
Oh, well, here's the thing again.
It was that damn Sasquatch, Andy.
The crash landing. Doesn't look like a spaceship to me, though. I don't know. A crater in Antarctica is actually an entrance into the Earth. Yeah, okay. Went over that one, too. All right, for Google knows something we do not know about Antarctica. Okay, March. Let's see. In March 2018, a pro-conspiracy theory YouTube channel claimed that Google knows some secrets about Antarctica. And it seems like Google is doing all it can to hide that information from us. However, a rebellious Google employee is supposedly trying to reveal the conspiracy to us. The presenter of the YouTube channel said that a red cross appears whenever he hovers over a location in Antarctica, but only when he has enabled the weather feature on Google Earth. The conspiracy theorist believes that this occurs because an unidentified Google employee wants us to see whatever is hidden there. The presenter suggests that it could be a UFO base, some secret treasure, or a glitch in Google Earth. Probably lean towards the glitch. 3. 2 craters in Antarctica are entrances to a secret UFO base. That looks like a natural cave. Doesn't look like a entrance to a base of any kind that I've seen. What do you think, Ronnie?
I think that they wouldn't want it to look like the entrance to any kind of base you've seen. They wouldn't want it to be that obvious.
Yeah, that looks like a creamed butthole.
It does. It sure does. It looks like a butthole that's just been cream pied hard.
Gaped.
Just gaped and filled with warm cream filling.
Antarctica does not exist. Been over that one too. The Nazis hid UFOs in Antarctica. I think we've been through that one as well. A UFO flew directly above a research station in Antarctica. Yeah, okay. Let's see what we. Oh, here we got a map. So we got the Easter Island, right? Easter Island heads on this part. Got pyramids over here. Some type of embassy looking thing over here. We got the entrance to Hollow Earth here. UFOs here. Nazis here. And the tropical paradise in the middle of ice here.
Somehow I don't think the tropical paradise exists.
Yeah, probably.
I could get behind the possibility of all the others, but I can't see a tropical area at the South Pole.
Yep. So the almost South Pole station. Because there's a big hole. The actual pole should be obvious. You can't build a research station there, so instead it's nearby. This means it's easy to keep an eye on all the UFOs and other alien technology that comes in and out of the hole. Okay. UFO base. UFO technology was first established in Antarctica at the end of World War II by the Nazis. Visitors land. The magnetic fields in Antarctica are manipulated to cause compasses to lead everyone to this area wherever they think they are going and think they might be. This prevents anyone from finding out about the secrets in Antarctica. Okay. What technology do we possess that could manipulate a magnetic field on that scale?
I don't know of any that's public knowledge.
Hey
It's not
Ben,
saying we don't have something.
Ben, you still floating around?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Just listening, huh?
Just trying to keep pace.
Shit, I have a pretty slow pace right now.
Well, the sound of freedom's ringing in my ear right now. The tinnitus.
You motherfucker.
Oh, visitor land barrier. A big plywood barrier painted to look like distant mountains and icebergs that hides the rest of Antarctica behind it.
God,
That's the winner. That's real.
the shit they come up with.
Oh, that's laughable.
Here's the thing. Like, I think sometimes these pages intentionally conflate absolutely bogus topics like that with like Nazi base. Like something that's
Well-
completely serious and possible.
Well, this particular
that.
page I'm on, I think, is meant to be funny.
Okay.
So,
My God, it's like Wile E. Coyote painting the tunnel through the mountain on the road so the roadrunner will run into it, but it never works out for him.
oh, all right. So, tropical area. No one would expect an area of tropical weather and rainforest in Antarctica, so that is exactly why one has been established and kept secret well away from prying eyes. You wouldn't guess it was here, would you? Clever, huh?
So stupid.
Right? The pyramids of Antarctica, built by an ancient and powerful race and hidden under the ice. Every now and then, one of them pokes out accidentally, and photographs are taken. But by the time anyone looks again, the snow is heaped back over it, and it disappears from view.
It just
Also-
buries itself.
Also, some mountains look a bit pyramid-like from some directions. So, damn. Land of the ancient race of super beings with big angular heads. Some of them tried to leave many years ago and made it to Easter Island, where their enormous weight made them sink into the ground, and a simple common bacterial infection turned them to stone.
Oh my God.
The bacterium cannot live in Antarctica, so they continue their highly sophisticated secret society under the ice, just occasionally sending out for pizza.
What? Why are they lying? They just say the truth that they tried to
Dude,
clap.
I think this is a parody page, dude. This can't be
Andy.
serious. Huh?
They tried to clap Medusa's cheeks, and she turned them to stone.
Either that or they got the grayscale from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, it could be. Turn him into a golem at the end of it.
Yep. Oh, see, here you go. Proof positive. Everything referred to on this map is made up. Some of it by me, most of it by other people.
Well, there we go. We just wasted all that time going over something. You had to wait till we got to the end of it, though, to find.
You know what?
disclaimer.
We had like 10, 15 minutes we had to fill. So, yeah. So I think we're pretty well covered on this.
Yep.
So what do you think?
How many
Final thoughts, Ronnie? Antarctica conspiracies.
It depends on which one, because I find some very obese and some extremely
All right.
starving to death. So
Not Nazi UFOs and bases in Antarctica that still exist today.
the remnants of said bases, I would say morbidly obese.
Are they operational today?
Maybe to some extent by U.S. forces, but I doubt it's still Nazis, unless they're U.S. Nazis.
So what about the flying saucers?
Aliens,
The
I'd say.
Operation High Jump doesn't have to be aliens. Just saying flying saucers. Could be the Nazis. Nazi saucers.
I'd say both ours and alien in Antarctica are probably well on their way to a heart attack.
No.
And also ancient civilizations on Antarctica died long ago of congestive heart failure. And the flat earth ice wall Antarctica is so anorexic I can see through it.
And the super realistic plywood paintings hiding the rest of Antarctica from everybody.
Yeah, that's right. The Wile E. Coyote scheme in Antarctica is absolutely so anorexic. I can't even see it anymore. It turns sideways, it vanishes. So
Mm-hmm. How about you, Ben? Do you concur?
Yeah, I do. Like I say, it just depends on which. You have to break it down and look at which topic is being discussed to make a determination.
I pretty much concur with everything Ronnie said as far
Yep.
as the whatever. I mean, how do you stand on the flying saucer part, though? Whether they're ours or aliens.
Oh, wait, was this the one we looked at with the crash landing?
No, the Nazi base in Antarctica and
Oh,
Operation High Jump was attacked by saucers from under the water and all that.
I mean, the Nazi base, I definitely can see being real because, like, they were very forward thinking. Well, I mean, everybody should know about but now that the Nazis were like always super into like the occult and potentially extraterrestrials. I mean, they went hunting around what was it, Tibet, because they thought Tibetans were like Aryan ancestors. I mean, if they're gonna go play in Tibet, why not Antarctica and mess around? So yeah, I believe.
stomping
But-
into the Nazi base in 1948.
Right.
Like, well, if it isn't the master race.
remember though, the Nazi bell was a real thing. We found it and there's pictures of it.
You
Yeah,
remember that,
They
Andy?
speculate it was a flying machine of some type. So
Andy, you remember that?
what?
On Lethal Weapon 2, when he goes stomping into their office or whatever, and he like walks up, Riggs, he's like, well, if it isn't the master race. I'd imagine that's what I would say when I walked into the Nazi base in like 1948 in Antarctica.
You know what I would say? I'd be like, the last time I was in Germany and I saw a man standing above everybody else. We ended up disagreeing.
Yeah. Okay, Captain America.
That damn Sasquatch.
And I'm sure that's the noise you made when you threw your shield at him.
No, this was the noise I made. Oh man. All right, I concur. So anyway, you can find us on all the major podcast platforms. We're on Instagram at SBBpod. We're also, our email is supernaturalbeerbros@gmail.com, and that's it. So this has been Supernatural Beer Bros podcast, Antarctica Conspiracies, and we are signing out.